Welcome back to Every Treasure YouTube channel. Today's class we're going to learn how to make this beautiful blouse. Okay, it has a full front just like we have here, and when you turn to the back is opened just like this, and it has a belt that controls it. It's a very simple tutorial and it's beginner friendly. This is something you like to learn. Kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. This is a simple blouse. So I've already marked out my armhole line and where my half length is going to be. So it has like a 3 inches band, so you have to consider that in the total length that you want for your blouse. I want the total length to be around 18 inches, the crop top. That's why I'm stopping this at 15 inches. So by the time I sew in the 3 or 3.5 inches band, it's going to complete the blouse length for me. So here you're going to mark your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Mine is 15, divided by 2 is 7.5. Here I'm coming down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'm working with a neck width of 3 inches, and for the front I'm going to work with a neck depth of 3 or 3.5 inches as well. So you're going to connect all of this together. Okay, then here you're going to connect for your shoulder slope as well. So here I'm going to mark my bust measurement. The bust is 38, divided by 4 is 9.5. I'm going to add 1 inch seam allowance to that, and then I'm going to go ahead and mark my armhole. So here I'm just marking my shoulder. The shoulder of 7.5 inches. I marked this so that I can have a straight line, and here you're going to divide that, and then on that half point you're going to go in by 1/2 inch so that we can connect all of this together to get our armhole curve. So you can see the lines I'm connecting from here to here to here, and I'm going to draw for my armhole curve. Okay, so the armhole curve is there. The next thing is to mark my bust point, my waistline. So here I'm going to be adding a little gather to it. The actual waist that I'm working with is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7 inches. So I'm supposed to mark 7 inches here, but like I said, I want to add some gather, so I'm adding 2 inches extra to it, and then I'm going to mark my 1 inch seam allowance. So this is for my front pattern, and that is done. So the next thing now is to mark out my back pattern. So you can just place this on it and trace it out, or you can just mark it all over again. So here I'm shifting my pattern, and then I'm going to mark what I marked for my neck, my armhole line, and the half length for the front as well. Then after marking that, I'll make it into a straight line. This does not have a zipper, so I'm not going to include any zipper allowance in this. What I'm going to do is just to mark my shoulder point just like I did for the front, my neckline, my shoulder slope, and all of that. So for the neck depth I'm going to work with 1 inch, and then you're going to connect all of this as well. So on the bust, on the armhole line, you're going to take your bust measurement. The bust measurement in this case is 9.5. Same with the front, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw out my armhole curve. Okay, and then you're going to add your seam allowance to that. I'm using 1 inch for my seam allowance. So although you don't really need this part, but let's just mark the 9 inches that we marked for the front as well, and then we connect. So this is our back. We're not doing so much to the front. The main work is on the back panel. So for the modifications at the back, you can start from your neckline. You can leave your neckline at the regular 1 inch, or you can just increase the depth. Okay, so I think I'm going to just leave it at 1 inch. By the time I turn it to spirals, it's going to be on 1.5 inches or so. So now after that, I'm going to use buttons here. Okay, so I just want to come down. So I'm going to be placing 2 buttons by 1.5 inches for the button before I make my curve. So now this is the 1.5 inches that I have there. The next thing is to get a smooth curve. You can also use a freehand for this, but a curve will make your work much easier. So you place your curve from this point, this 1.5 inches point, to where your seam allowance is, because you need to have a seam allowance so that you can join the front and back together. I hope you understand that. So here is my seam allowance. But for the waistline, remember we added extra to the waistline for the front because we are going to be adding gathers to it. So you can remove it from that, but I don't think it's going to have any effect on it like that. So I used 9 inches for the waistline of the front, and then I added 1 inch seam allowance. I can just reduce this to maybe 8 inches and then add 1 inch seam allowance. So I'm reconnecting my waistline, and then all of this is not going to be valid. Okay, so this is my actual waistline now, and this is my seam allowance. So here I'm just going to place the curve like this, and then I'm going to draw it out. So depending on how open you want it to be, the curve is not doing it for you, you can use your free hand, or you can find another way to place your curve. Okay, so after connecting it, this is what it's going to look like. So like I said, if you want it more opened, or you want it not as opened as this, you can use your free hand, or you can find a way to maneuver your curve in such a way that it's going to give you what you want. So this is mine. So I'll go ahead now and cut out what I have. So all of this is going to go off, no part of my measurement. So here I'm cutting out my side seam. I'm going to cut the curve that I made. Then I'm going to cut my neckline measurement, my shoulder, and then my armhole. So for the front is quite simple. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out my pattern for the front as well. The main work is on the back. So this is what we have for the back, and you're going to cut 2 of this. Okay, you're going to cut 2. So I'll cut this on my fabric now and bring it back to show us what we have. Okay, so I forgot to mention the sleeve. For the sleeve, I'm working with a puff sleeve. Okay, so let me just hold this in. This is my regular basic sleeve block. You can see it's not a long sleeve. The total length of this sleeve is around 8 inches. Okay, but it's a puff sleeve, that's why I have that extension there. So now the extra that I have here is what I'm going to be using to make the excess that I'm going to be pleating to form my puff sleeve. So depending on how puffy you want it to be, from 3 to 5 inches is fine. So I think I'm just going to work with around 4 inches. So from where my actual sleeve stops, you can see this is my actual sleeve. This is where it stops. So here I'm going to come up by 4 inches or whatever it is that you want to work with. And then with your free hand, you can connect it to the midpoint of this other sleeve, or you can just use a curve. Just make sure that whatever you are doing, you blend everything in very well. You want everything to just give you a really nice and smooth curve. So you can see what we have there now. So now I can cut this sleeve out, and this is what I have. Okay, so all of this part now I'm going to pleat it to give me that puff effect that I want. So you make sure to cut this part and fold. So now I have cut out my fabric. This is the front. I just cut out exactly what I have there for the front, and these are the 2 backs. So the front was cut on fold, that's why you have it together like this. And then for the back, I cut 2. Okay, just like I have it, you just place your pattern and cut out exactly what you have. I just have allowance on my shoulder area here, so I'm going to be using bias to turn it out. I don't have the exact color of this bias right here now, so I'm just going to use any color that I have that can still work for this, because this is just a tutorial, but this is what it's going to look like. Excuse me. So this is what it's going to look like. So for your bias, you're going to use the bias to turn the neckline. Okay, so after turning the neckline, for the back especially, I'm going to be using the bias to turn the center back, this curved part. I'm going to use bias to turn it so that it can be neat. So while turning it with bias, I'm going to create loops for button here. You can see what it looks like when it is well arranged. That 1.5 inches that we created here is for the loops. So I'm just going to put 1 or 2 loops here, and then I'm going to turn everything in neatly with my bias so that these rough edges are not going to show. So after doing that, I'm going to place the front and back together. I'm going to join it by the shoulder so that I can turn the neckline as well. So I'll do this now and bring it back. Okay, so you can see now that I have turned it neatly. So this is the back, and here I just inserted this small loop for whatever it is that I want to use, button or whatever, and I just used one here to hold it together like this. So you can see what the back is looking like now, and this is the front. I joined it on the shoulder as well so that I can turn the neckline neatly. So now for the band, my band is going to be a 3 inches band. So on fold, I cut out 7 inches so that by the time I fold this into 2, I'll have 3.5, and then I'm going to fold in again like this to have 3. So I'm going to notch the center of this. It can be as long, the length can be as long as you want, because you're going to be tying it by the side, so you want it as long as possible. So I'm going to notch the center of this as well. So now once you notch it, this is where you're going to sew it. The band is going to be sewn to the front alone, but before I sew it, I'm going to join the sides. Okay, so you're going to match your side seam and join them together. So for the back, I'm going to reduce the length a little bit so that I'll have like allowance to join my belt. Okay, so I hope you understand that. So I'm just going to cut a little bit here from the back. Okay, so you can see, so by the time I sew it here at the back, I'll have this allowance to join the belt. So I'll go ahead and sew the back as well. So after sewing in the back, I'm going to sew my band to the front, then I'll fix the sleeve. Okay, so I have fixed the sleeve. I can see the small pleats that I added here and on the other sleeve as well, and then I went ahead to join it by the shoulder, by the sides. Okay, so you can see the allowance that I have for the front on the back so that I can sew in my sleeve. So what my band, so if you want to sew the band, so you just fold in the seam allowance like this, and then you insert your band to the front alone by the 1/2 inch allowance that you have in front. So after sewing the band, you fix your button or whatever you want to use, or hook or anything, and your blouse is ready. So this is what it looks like now. You can see the back can be as opened as you want. So here you just fixed a button, but I just use the pin to hold it, and you can see the pleats that I created with my sleeve. So if you want it puffier than this, you just need to increase it, and this is what our belt looks like as well. So now I'm going to turn it to the front so that you can see the front. So this is the front. You can see the high neckline front, and this is our band. So the band can be as long as you want. Mine is just 3 inches. You can have it more or less, and this is what it looks like in full view. I hope you enjoy making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.